Rabbi Aryeh Levine, he wrote in his tzavah, he wanted that anyone who comes to his caver to say the last Ani Mamin, and remember Yerushalayim shati etchias hamesib ishethala rotzim esabaris b'achshamoy v'sal zucher la'ad u'lanitzach nitzachim, to express our faith in tchias hamesim, that as soon as the Yerushalayim once, this entire cemetery is going to be full of the greatest living people ever. Rav Kook appointed him to be the chaplain of the prisoners, and Taka, he spent his days sneaking in there. There are stories of him smuggling who knows what, sneaking people out. He did incredible things and stood by every yid. There was a whole war going on underground, and when it got caught, the British would mercilessly come down to them. You could still see the prison where they were, and there were gallows that were in fact used for Jews. There was 12 unidentified bodies from the convoy of 35. So Rabbi Aryeh Levine used the Gerel HaGra to be able to identify each body, and they were able to get buried, recovered. There's one other Maisa. There was one inmate, totally religious, a real tough guy, so much so that he was in there for murder. And when Rabbi Levine came to visit everybody, so no one would talk to this guy. He literally strangled his wife with his bare hands, like not a good person. And no one would talk to him. He was, he's a dangerous man. Rabbi Levine greeted him like anyone else, and he offered him to wear tefillin. And people were really not excited about this, because they thought, like, with these hands committed murder, and now he's going to put tefillin on them. Rabbi Levine, it wasn't an issue. He gave him his tefillin to wear, and the guy put it on his left hand instead of his right hand. He put it on the wrong hand. And people were just like, he's not even doing it right. Rabbi Levine went to speak to him. He said, like the tefillin really go on the other hand. So he said, yeah, but I did my murder with my right hand, and I felt wrong putting tefillin on it. So I put it on the other hand. I figured that hand has less sin. This man was chesed b'tshuva, to be able to see the good in everybody. He was beloved by all because he loved everyone. There's a story of someone came running to Rabbi Levine because his store was being robbed. There was some thug who came into Shuk by Machane Yehuda, and he was just taking things, and no one wanted to approach him because this guy looked dangerous. So Rabbi Levine felt comfortable and safe with an aura of bitachon. He approached the man and he said, holy yid, holy brother, maybe you don't know, but it says in the Torah, lesigzol, you're not allowed to steal. The yid looked at him. He stopped. He pulled up a pickup truck in front of their shops, and he was just filling up his truck with people's things. So Rabbi Levine said, maybe you could help me unload some of the stuff. It's this year's parnasa. This is all he has in his shop. So, just with the sweetness of just like this non-confrontational, sweet rabbi, he helped him. Together they unloaded his van, his pickup truck, and returned all of his stolen goods. It was that tremendous sweetness. Rabbi Levine had a fantastic love for children, and the children loved him. You could ask any kid in the streets of Yerushalayim, where's Rabbi Levine's house, and they would walk you straight into his home, knock on the door. There was a story of a child who they were giving out chocolate pudding by lunch, and Rabbi Levine was a Rebbe over there. This was Meltzer, brought him in, and this kid enjoyed his chocolate pudding very much and ran back to get a second spoon, a ladleful. But the guy said, "You ready, got?" And the kid was really frustrated, and he knocked over the whole pot of chocolate pudding. Wow, was he in trouble? And the superintendent grabs him, brings him to the principal. They kick him out, and they're yelling at him, the whole thing. Kids say they called in Rabbi Levine to try to talk to this kid. Seder. So what does he do? He sits down next to the boy and says, did you really knock over the pudding? I'm not going to accuse you of anything you didn't do. He said, yeah, I did. He said, you really wanted pudding, right? He said, yeah. Are you going to do it again? No. Okay. You really like pudding, right? Yeah. He says, me too. I happen to have 2 chocolate puddings. Maybe you'll share one with me. And they sat down and they had pudding together. Problem solved. It was just this sweetness, and like there was no judging, no name calling, and he's not going to do it again. So You tell Rabbi Aryeh Levine you're not going to do it again. The kid's not going to do it again. There's one very interesting minhag that people put here, tiles, things made out of pottery, and they write things on here like the same way that this pottery was made by burning. You have to, in tremendous heat in a kiln. So too the heart of such and such a yid, and they write names of children whose hearts have unfortunately gone cold for their Avinu Shabbat Shemayim, and they put a tefillah here for their hearts to be able to be lit up again, the way Rabbi Levine used to be able to light up the hearts and the neshamas of Klal Yisrael. This is actually a relatively small pile. There used to be between Kvarim, it could be absolutely full between the Rav and the Rebbetzin. Yeh Zichar Baruch.